guys, I'm here to talk about the best books of March that I read. I know this is a fairly belated post, but as I just finished recording my last stack in the shelves, and yeah, I've just got a lot going on and I don't really have the time or the bandwidth to do this. I did end up reading 5 books in March that I really, really liked. The first one I read was The Secret Keeper of Jaipur, and this is the second book in the Hindist Artist series by Alka Joshi. I really like this. Obviously, I gave it 5 out of 5 stars. This again is set in India in like the 1950s, I think. And it's a very unique setting. I really liked learning about some of the stuff. I like the characters. I like the different cultures. Like part of them are out in the mountains. Some people are in the city. And I just thought it's really well written. I actually listened to the audiobook and thought the narration was also well done. And I would recommend it, especially if you like the henna artist. It was very, very similar and very well done. The next one on my list is much more typical for what I normally read, and that is Spelunking Through Hell, which is Encrypted Book 11 by Shauna McGuire. The Encrypted series has been a little on and off for me. The last few books in it I was a huge fan of, but this book 11 I really did like. It actually we go and follow Alice, who is one of the characters that is mentioned a lot in the series, but kind of mysteriously missing, jumping through realities, and it was really fun to follow Alice and see her story. It's a very unique story. It was a lot of fun. It was very fast-paced and interesting. And that was probably one of my favorite books of the Encrypted series, like ever. So I'm not sure what she's going to follow it up with because it was pretty awesome. All right, the third book I read in March that I really enjoyed is The Complete Mouse by Art Spiegelman. Ironically, this got a lot of press early in the year because it is banned now because of some of the images in it. It is about the Holocaust. I did not originally get this because of all that hubbub. I actually got it for Christmas. It's something I'd been wanting to read for a while, and my husband got it for me for Christmas. I really liked it. It's really well done. It's, there's violence, right? It's not necessarily like the violence is dwelled on, though, because it was just part of what all these people were suffering through. I think the thing that got objected to was kids getting killed, and yes, kids got killed. Like, I don't know how to tell you this, but that happened. And I think part of the objection was it being available in schools. My son did pick up Mouse in middle school and read it unknowingly to us because it was provided in his school library. And he had a lot of questions about, like, did this really happen? And why would people do this to each other? And things like that. And I will say it was a very good discussion. I never regretted him reading it. Created a lot of good discussion, a lot of historical knowledge. He actually went and read a lot more books about the Holocaust, learn more about it, try to kind of understand it, which I don't know that any of us understand it. But so really liked Mouse. Not even because it's just the subject matter, but the way it's presented. The characters were very alive. It goes from present to past day, and you're kind of learning like how the things that happened in the past are still affecting people, like 50 years later, whenever I think it's written in the 1980s. So anyways, 40, 50 years later, how it's still affecting them, how it affects how they live their life, and how it affects everybody around them. And it was a very good 2-pronged approach to like how this affects people now and what happened in the past. So I would definitely recommend it if you're at all interested in history and World War II. It was just really, really well done. Okay, next one on the list, the fourth one for March, is also a graphic novel, and that is Gina and the Big Secret, which is High-Low Book 8 by Jude Winnick. This is a middle grade graphic novel series that I probably shouldn't still be reading, but I really enjoy this series a lot. And me and my son used to read together, and he's older now and doesn't read these anymore, but I continue to greatly love the High-Low series. I just love the kids in it and their families and the magic and how funny it is and how bright and colorful it is. I just really enjoy that series. All right, and then the last one on the list of my best of March is The Deepest of Secrets, Book 7 in the Rockton series by Kelly Armstrong. This book did wrap up the Rockton series. I'm a big Kelly Armstrong fan and a huge fan of the series. It's about some people who go out into this very primitive town in the Yukon Territory in Canada, and it's kind of like a witness protection program. but you also have people paying to be out there who are criminals. So you have this weird mix of like kind of prey, people who are under protection for certain reasons, and predators, criminals who are paying to also be out there. I thought this was very well done. There are some not really loose ends, but it ends in a way that makes you think that there could be more things coming. But I do think it wrapped up like all the major plot points very well, and I enjoyed it greatly. So that was the last book that I really, really liked in March. And I have read quite a few good books in April and some very bad books in April so far. So we'll see. As I mentioned, my stacking the shelves, I have been very busy studying for the patent bar. It's a lot of reading, it's a lot of memorizing stuff, and I haven't had a lot of bandwidth to do a lot of leisurely reading. So these videos are going to trickle down pretty drastically. They already have. I'll try to maybe do a stacking the shelves once a month and maybe do my favorite books of the month. I'm also not taking any more review books right now. I just got too backed up on them, so I'm trying to get through all of that. And then I don't know if I will. I have been finding that I'd rather, every time I sit down and look at this like giant list of books I need to read, I mean, so I plan it all out, so I make sure I review them like the couple weeks before they come out and are released. But it's a lot of planning, and I never get to just like pick up something I want to read. I always know like what I'm going to be reading out to like 14 books out or something like that. So I think I might just stop getting books for review for a while. I'd much rather just kind of on a whim say, oh, I want to get this from the library and get it and read it, rather than, you know, being like, okay, well, if I want to read this new book that came out, I have to fit it somewhere in the next, you know, after the next 3 weeks, after I get through all these other review books. So yeah, so that's that. I don't have a lot more to say. I hope that you read a lot of books that you really liked in March, and if you had favorites, please feel free to list them below. I will talk to you at some point for Stacking the Shelves. Talk to you later. Bye.